against Bitcoin.
It's going up forever.
You're against Bitcoin. You're against freedom.
Good morning, everybody. What's up? It is Wednesday, September 13th, the year 2023. And we got some more news coming out from the top financial asset managers of the world, officially filing another spot Bitcoin ETF. This one is Franklin Templeton, which has about $1.4 trillion of assets under management. So it seems like Bitcoin is maturing right before our eyes. Love to see it. And I know there's the negative Bitcoiners out there like we don't need them. Well, hey, even if we don't, there is tons of capital sitting on the sidelines waiting to get into Bitcoin. And so even though the price is crabbing sideways, it seems like there is a ton of interest in Bitcoin and you love to see it. And it really makes you wonder whether this time will be different, this next bull run. And then, of course, the secondary questions of what is the SEC doing? Are they going to approve Bitcoin ETFs this year? Are they waiting for next year? Like, what is holding them back from approving a spot Bitcoin ETF? All the things that make you say, what is the final thing that will finally let the boot drop and release a spot Bitcoin ETF? So we got all that for you guys. And then as well, in the news, we saw some rumblings coming out of the G20 summit about a global digital ID system, CBDC systems, which when you really read into it is absolutely terrifying. And interesting enough, they are using new framing and new words for this. So we'll bring you all the receipts so that you can keep track of what they are saying. But as a Bitcoiner, it's kind of one of those I told you so moments. You know, we've been talking about this for months on the show about what their plans are. And now it's no longer just us speculating about what they want to do. They are saying it for themselves. They want global control of your identity, of your transactions. And it's very interesting about how this game theory is going to play out. You know, on the one hand, as we say all the time, there's Bitcoin and then there's slavery. There is a freedom money and then there is a total digital tyrannical authoritarian monetary system that they're trying to roll out in real time. But anyways, welcome to Simply Bitcoin. We are your number one source for the peaceful Bitcoin revolution. We cover breaking news, culture, and memetic warfare. We bring on Bitcoiners from all around the world, from the biggest names to the everyday Bitcoiner. We got them all, and we will be your guide through the separation of money and state. And I am not alone today. Of course, I am here with Dell. Dell, how are you doing? Good to have you back. It is a Wednesday, of course, so we do the hosting duties. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. Things are interesting. It's amazing how people will turn on each other for entertainment in any space. Like you see things going well, or they're going well, then people are happy. Like if there's a party and everybody's there and all the kids are woo, yeah, there's stuff. There's a clown and funny clown, he's making balloons. But as soon as all the clowns go away, there's no jumping castle. There's literally nothing to do except find entertainment. The kids are probably going to turn on each other. They're going to band into teams. They're going to go, what is that? Lord of the Rings, not Lord of the Rings, Lord of Flies. That's not right. Is that what it? Lord of Flies?
I think it's Lord of the Flies, right?
Lord of the Flies. There we go. I knew it didn't sound quite right to me for some reason. Brain farted there. They're going to turn on each other. You see this in pretty much every situation ever. So here it is in Bitcoin space. Nothing's really happening with the price. You get tiny little blips of news. I imagine this whole, which recently revealed today, PayPal mistake spending $500,000 to send about $800 worth of Bitcoin. That would have hardly made a blip if we were in a bull market. If things were popping off and like, oh, it's 30,000, oh, it's 40,000, oh, I can't believe it. This little thing would happen. Like, oh yeah, okay, neat. It would just be a little road bump along the way. But now things like that are crazy. My point here is that people will turn on each other and stay nice, be kind, rewind.
It's just bear market things. This is a rite of passage. This is just how things happen at the very end of a bear market. Anyways, we are not alone today. We have a good friend. I dare I say the best producer in the game, or is Jacob going to get mad at me? Anyways, we got Chris Alamo from Bitcoin Magazine here, and we're going to be talking about all things Bitcoin Mag during the culture. So, Chris, how you doing today?
Doing well. Not the best producer. You know, we're just collectively the producers for the best asset in the world. We'll go with that. So shout outs to you and Jacob. No, but happy to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.
No worries, no worries. Actually, can we do a little story time? Remember when we were at Pacific Bitcoin last year and we were walking back and we were joking, like if you, myself, and Jacob are traveling somewhere, we can't all be on the same plane because then like the majority of Bitcoin producers are just completely there's no more content being made. But yeah, anyways, good to have you, Chris.
We need to travel separately, basically.
Yeah.
You know, it's like State of the Union. One of us has to be missing, basically.
Oh my goodness, it's so true. All right, guys, let's get into the numbers for today.
The Bitcoin numbers.
Is your Bitcoin in cold storage really secure? Is your seed phrase really secure? Stamp Seed's do-it-yourself kit has everything you need to hammer your seed words into commercial-grade titanium plates instead of just writing them on paper. Don't store your generational wealth on paper. Paper is prone to water damage, fire damage. You want to put your generational wealth on one of the strongest metals on planet Earth, titanium. Your words are actually stamped into this metal plate with this hammer and these letter stamps. And once your words are in, they aren't going anywhere. No risk of the plate breaking apart and pieces falling everywhere. Titanium stamped seeds will survive nearly triple the heat produced by a house fire. They're also crush-proof, waterproof, non-corrosive, and time-proof. All things that paper is not, allowing you to hodl your Bitcoin with peace of mind for the long haul. Stamp your seed on Stamp Seed.
All right, guys, we made it easy for you guys. Scan the QR code right there and get yourself a titanium seed phrase storage kit. And also on another note, and I'm not really going to cover it, it's going to be in the meme review. You know, did you guys notice the new iPhones made out of titanium as well? It's almost like titanium's all the rage right now. Anyways, we're here on Clark Moody's dashboard. And of course, I have one favorite number, and it is the block height. TikTok, next block. Honey Badger, don't give AF. And we are currently at a block height of 807,487. The current Bitcoin price is in the 26K range, 26,360, which means the sat per dollar, aka the Moscow time, aka how much your fiat dollar is worth, aka how much Bitcoin you can buy for a single dollar. It's currently at 3,794 sats. The total percentage issued of Bitcoin that will ever be created is at 92.78%. The market cap in fiat terms is $513.6 billion. The Bitcoin versus gold market cap, still so much room to run in the hard money game, is at 4.03%. And the total lightning capacity, public lightning capacity, 4,743.76 BTC. And the hash rate the last 90 days is 380.7 exahashes. And the pending fees, wow, guys, I'm so glad I've added this number to the numbers read because it's gone up in the last couple of days. It's at 6.25 BTC. It was like 2.9 BTC the other day. Anyways, let's get into the numbers story for today. So, usually we've been kind of playing videos for you guys, but I want to cover some numbers here. And of course, it is in regards to the title. We have another asset manager, another $1 trillion asset manager getting interested into Bitcoin and officially applying for a spot Bitcoin ETF. So of course, we're over here on Bitcoin Mag, breaking $1.5 trillion asset manager Franklin Templeton has officially applied for a spot Bitcoin ETF. And we're here on Bloomberg. I'm not going to read this article because it really doesn't say anything except for the headline. And maybe for you guys that don't know who Franklin Templeton is, we've got a little background here. So Franklin Templeton joins race to offer U.S. spot Bitcoin ETF. So the San Mateo, California-based firm, which oversees more than $1.4 trillion in assets, filed for an application with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission on Tuesday. If approved, Franklin plans to use Coinbase Global Inc. as custodian for the fund's Bitcoin holdings and Bank of New York Mellon for cash. And they're not the only ones doing the same thing. But the numbers here is there are now 10 active spot Bitcoin ETF applications since Franklin Templeton filed theirs. The race is on for who either gets approved first or whether Gary Gensler approves them all at the same time. So it's going to be very interesting to watch moving forward. As we've been saying for a while, though, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And again, like I posed in the beginning, the question that most Bitcoiners are asking themselves, well, rather, the Bitcoiners that care about macro, I can hear yellow, macro talk. Everyone's talking macro. The question that you should be asking yourself is, what is Gary Gensler waiting for? There is some rumors that they're probably waiting for this Binance DOJ court case or investigation to be over, clearing out the space for them to officially launch a Bitcoin spot ETF. But for you guys at home keeping track, or for you guys that aren't aware, let's just look over who the other Bitcoin ETFs are. And then we'll go into how much capital they have and just basically double down on the idea of just how much capital sitting on the sidelines. So, of course, we've been covering this news about Grayscale Bitcoin Trust refiling or their conversion from the GBTC into a spot Bitcoin ETF. So we have the Grayscale ETF. We have 21 shares in ARK's Bitcoin ETF, ARK 21 shares Bitcoin ETF. We have iShares Bitcoin Trust, which is the BlackRock ETF. We have Bitwise Bitcoin ETP Trust, which is again Bitwise. We have the VanEck Bitcoin Spot. We have Wisdom Tree Spot Bitcoin ETF. We have Invesco. We have Fidelity's Wise Origin Bitcoin Trust, and we have Valkyrie Bitcoin Fund. And then, of course, with the Franklin Templeton, which would make 10, we have another official spot Bitcoin filing. And just to give you guys more numbers, I think we need to remember just how much capital these asset managers are holding. And of course, not all of this money is going to go into Bitcoin, but even if a small portion of the assets under management do go into Bitcoin, it is going to be a tsunami of capital dropping into the Bitcoin space. And of course, we don't know when. Maybe it's going to be in 2025. Maybe it's going to be at the end of this year. Maybe it's early next year. But we know they are coming. And we've been saying, well, not us necessarily on the show, but as Bitcoiners, institutions are coming. Institutions are coming. Well, guys, it is fairly safe to say that Bitcoin is maturing and the institutions want your Bitcoin. So this is the spot of the show where we tell you guys to take Bitcoin into self-custody. Do not give them your Bitcoin. Make it through the HODL buyout zone because they are coming for your Bitcoin. But anyways, as Alistair Milne, I think, or Milne, I don't know how to say your last name, bro. Sorry. He goes, so far, 4 of the 15 largest U.S. asset managers have filed for their own Bitcoin ETF. State Street are administrators for the VanEck ETF. Morgan Stanley have a private Bitcoin fund, and there are many others, but the rest are relative minnows versus the big boys below. And you can see here, BlackRock's asset under management, about $8.4 billion. We have Vanguard, $7.1 billion. Fidelity, $3.7 billion. Whereas the next ones, we have, Invesco, 1.3 trillion, 8.4 trillion, 7.1 trillion, and Franklin Templeton right here, 1.297 trillion. And you can just see that there is so much capital on the sidelines waiting for Bitcoin. And, for you guys out there that are like, oh, we're turning into a macro show, guys, it just goes to show that the institutions want your Bitcoin. Bitcoin is maturing. The world is waking up to the idea that they want to get some Bitcoin just in case it catches on. And especially when you, as the average person, go out into the normal economy and you start to feel your purchasing power dwindle, it is no secret why they are looking for investments into Bitcoin. Everyone likes profits. And again, over here on Bitcoin Mag, we saw some news yesterday as well about Gary Gensler saying that they're reviewing the Grayscale ruling and Bitcoin spot ETF filings. And personally, I kind of took this Grayscale reviewing maybe more on the negative side personally, but it just goes to show that the concern over spot Bitcoin ETFs of what's going on in the Bitcoin market is the biggest concern right now in the markets, at least for a Bitcoiner. I know as a Bitcoiner, we constantly show you guys and tell you guys that all the Bitcoin entrepreneurs out there are building, that you, as an average individual that doesn't care about paper Bitcoin, all you have to do is take Bitcoin into self-custody. But, for the number go up maxis out there, there is a lot of liquidity waiting on the sidelines, guys. And, I hate being the Bitcoiner that's saying this time is different, but it really does seem like this next bull run, if we ever get out of the crab market, is going to be teed up as a magnificent bull run. And, right now is the time, while we're all in the storm, while we're crabbing, why it's the darkness before the dawn, to make sure that your cold storage is set up correctly, that you are still stacking, that you don't take your foot off the gas. Because, hey, it is a little bloody out there. We've been kind of crabbing in that 26K for a while, but this is the opportunity to be stacking because I really do believe that this next bull run, when it does start running, most average people are going to get priced out of owning a significant chunk of Bitcoin. And you have the asymmetric opportunity today to stack some Bitcoin. Anyways, I'd like to get Chris's take on this because he's also in the media front. He's been watching this closely. I'm sure Bitcoin Mag has had some internal conversations about all this crazy stuff. So what's your thoughts on all this stuff, Chris?
Well, our good friend Yellow, I know you've mentioned him a couple times on the show. In the bear markets, it's always build, stack, fight, somewhere in that order. You can change it up. I think Gary Gensler is obviously fighting the approval of these ETFs so he can stack more and building his regulatory moat. Obviously, he has aspirations. He said this before to come out as the Treasury Secretary. So in the long run, he wants to move from the chairman of the SEC to moving to Janet Yellen's role. Obviously, that's kind of dependent on the 2024 elections. You don't know if Biden's going to get reelected, if Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will usurp him, if someone from the Republican side may beat him, whether it's Trump, DeSantis, Vivek, to name a few. But I think he's trying to definitely carve out a regulatory moat. And I do think a lot of these these asset managers are taking advantages and maybe stacking on the side, at least not from the company standpoint, but definitely from personally. These asset managers are doing things with their own personal portfolio and stacking Bitcoin. Obviously, we're not seeing the price rip as much. I was doing the quick math on the total assets under management for all those companies on the slide that you listed before. It was about like 40 trillion. If you assume 1% of 40 trillion, let's just say 50 trillion for round numbers, that's what, like $500 billion that would be moving into it. So 500 billion that's moving into it. And then with that number, basically we're assuming that, the market cap right now in fiat terms is 500 billion. If you're trying to put 500 billion more of investment into it, there's a thing called slippage in the investing world. When you're trying to buy either a stock or an asset, basically the bids can't meet the asks. So meaning that the price will go higher than $1 trillion market cap. So we will at least double in that time if the ETF gets approved. Obviously, not your keys, not your coins. I am a Bitcoin maxi that says don't go with the ETFs, but I will gladly let them pump my bag when I have the non-KYC self-stored Bitcoin in my own multi-sig setup. So that's just my 2 sats on it all. I think Gary Gensler knows what he's doing. He helped teach the MIT course on Bitcoin. He seems to be fighting these ETFs for more regulatory clarity or regulatory moat. But yeah, that's just my 2 sats on it all.
Yeah, 100%. And it's very interesting when you understand how markets work and like you mentioned, the slippage. And it's like, guys, you try to stuff 500 billion into an asset that is literally only 500 billion and it's going to go parabolic. And this is why we've been doubling down on the idea of like, make it through the HODL buyout zone. And I'm really glad that American HODL memed that phrase because it really stamps in a view of what's going on. And I hate just saying like it's going to get crazy, but it's going to absolutely get crazy.
Yeah, and there's actually one thing I want to add. Like many plebs or even just like, ordinary Bitcoiners, they don't have hundreds of millions or millions of dollars or maybe even not hundreds of $1,000s, but their stack of Bitcoin, I would put my money that they understand Bitcoin better than most. Look at the recent thing with PayPal that came out, I think this morning, where they basically sent a transaction with like basically $500,000 equivalent that basically was an error in the software they were using. They weren't using free and open source software. They probably weren't using a cold card. They weren't using Sparrow Wallet. Like you're probably better than 99% of even the smartest or the money in the room by using a setup like that compared to like them. And they just accidentally spent 19 Bitcoin or $500,000 worth of Bitcoin in a transaction, like way overpaying in the fees. So I think most ordinary Bitcoiners, getting yourself a hardware wallet and using, a robust setup, whether it's Sparrow, Spectre, a lot of the ones that we recommend on these shows, you're probably better than most of like the asset managers that are supposed to be the quote unquote adults in the room. But if we learned anything from 2008, there are no adults in the room. Like you're the master of your own destiny. There are no adults in the room. The stock market's kind of a sham, but like you can protect yourself and your family and generational wealth with Bitcoin in your own cold storage. And if you need help, like there's plenty of people on Twitter that are more than willing to help you with your setup. Obviously, don't dox your private keys or, tell how you're doing it, but they're more than willing to help you get along the steps doing it. BTC Sessions is another great resource as well.
I love that, Chris. All right, jump in, Dell. What's your thoughts on all this stuff?
Well, you asked at the start of your little rant when Gary Gensler is going to approve these ETFs. I think he's going to approve them when he's given the green light by Larry Fink and the other powers that be. I honestly, I'm not saying that in a joking way. I'm not saying that in a conspiratorial sense at all. I think that politicians, no matter if they're unelected, elected, whatever, if you're in a position of power, there are people that are in higher positions of power. There's almost always another leg up the ladder, another rung up the ladder, where somebody is above you in what they can say and do. The number of people above me that can say and control what I do and have like a direct influence on my life in a meaningful way is most of the world. Honestly, like it's a lot of people. I guess it's not most of the world. There's many developed or underdeveloped countries that are developing countries that don't have a lot of say in what I do. But a lot of people are in a higher place than I am socioeconomically. So if they go to the right people and talk to this congressperson, they talk to this council member, they talk to the mayor of the city that I live in, whatever, they could cause my life to be a real problem. And so there are definitely people unquestionably above Gary Gensler. And I truly think that the reason that they're holding on right now is so that they can get as many bags and as many pieces of the puzzle in place as they possibly can. If you don't, British Huddle's talked about this. If people out there think that their armchair analysis and looking around on Twitter is more advanced than what BlackRock is doing, you truly are a lower than 80 IQ pleb. Like, you're like, really, like, you actually think. I'm going to make a video later on where I'm talking about these companies, these large companies are looking at things that you probably would never expect, like asking questions of other industries, other areas that you would never think of. So if they're looking into those areas, like the furthest reaches of business and commerce, then you would better believe they're looking at something like Bitcoin, which is poised to be the bedrock of all commerce, all money exchange, all transference of energy time around the entire world. Like, to think that BlackRock is going, we'll figure it out later on, is insane. So yeah, Gary Gensler's waiting on his bosses, whoever they are. I don't know if it's Larry Fink, but it's somebody to say, yes, approve it now. That's what he's waiting for.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. Anyways, before we move on, we got to give a shout out to the boys over at Bitcoin Magazine. If you are in Europe and you want to go to the biggest European conference in the world, you need to get to Bitcoin Amsterdam. It is October 12th to 13th of this year. It's literally 1 month away. What's it, Chris? What's it, 29 days or something away?
29 days away.
Let's go. And then, of course, guys, we tell you to get your tickets now for Nashville 2024 Bitcoin in Nashville. We're taking it over July 25th to 27th. Use the promo code SIMPLY, and we will see you guys in Nashville. I'm super excited. I haven't been to Nashville yet, and I can't wait to go down there and take it over with you guys. It's going to be lit. But guys, I tell you guys to get your tickets now, a year away, because you guys always complain about the price. These are the rock bottom prices. Get them today, because I know you're going to FOMO into the conference when it comes to that time. Everyone does it every single year. So if you're in Europe, we want to see you. Well, actually, Chris will see you in Amsterdam, and we will see you in Nashville. Anyways, let's get into the news, because there is a lot to talk about today. Here we go.
The Daily News.
I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Foundation Devices. It's self-custody done right. They built a premium grade hardware wallet called Passport right here in the US. It's fully open source and verifiable. It's the most intuitive Bitcoin wallet designed with a UX reminiscent of a simple feature phone. So you will know how to navigate it and use it the moment you pick it up. Get your Bitcoin off exchanges and into your own hands in just a few minutes. Experience the peace of mind that comes with taking ownership of your own keys. After a massive sellout during Bitcoin Miami 2023, the Passport is back in stock at foundationdevices.com. Bitcoin only, open source verifiable, completely air gap security model, gorgeous design craft, premium grade materials. If you're thinking about getting your Bitcoin off exchanges, this is the one for you. Check out the Passport link in the show notes below to learn more.
You guys are funny in the chat. All right. Thank you, guys. All right. Love you guys. Scan the QR code over here and go to Passport or Foundation Devices. Get yourself a Passport, guys. It's beautiful. It really might be one of the prettiest hardware wallets in the space. Really, really shouts out to them. Anyways, as I told you guys in the beginning, We got some news coming out of the G20 summit, and this is something we've been talking about here on the show for a while. And people would kind of angle it as in like, oh, you guys are being conspiratorial, you guys are reading into things. And again, I guess maybe it makes it hit harder when they're saying the exact thing we've been telling you guys for a while, that they want to unroll a global digital CBDC system and an identity system as well. And they know what we've been saying for a while. And I have some quotes here from them and some articles and some tweets. And they know what we know. They can't ban Bitcoin. They can only ban themselves from Bitcoin. And if they are trying to roll out some kind of regulation or some kind of bans around Bitcoin, they will need a global coordination. And all it takes is one weak link in that process, and it won't happen. So we know that this isn't how they're going to do it. They're going to try to figure out some, roundabout ways to basically get people to get hoodwinked into their slavery system, as we like to call it. But or as the meme is, it's not central bank digital currencies, it's central bank digital control mechanisms. Anyways, we got this article on Reuters, and this dropped roughly around the same time that the G20 summit happened. So I'm not really going to read the whole article, but there's a good quote in here that kind of sets the tone for what we saw coming out of the actual conversations that happened at the G20 summit. So this is Reuters, and it goes, IMF and regulators set out roadmap to contain crypto risks. Of course, they always blame us for their problems, as like we're the ones that are messing up the financial world and it's not them. Anyways, getting into the article, we got global financial regulators and the IMF on Thursday set out a roadmap to coordinate measures that stop crypto assets from undermining macroeconomics and financial stability. Again, let me reread that. Set out a roadmap to coordinate measures that stop crypto assets from undermining macroeconomic and financial stability. Such risks are exacerbated by non-compliance with existing laws. In some instances, the G20's risk watchdog, the Financial Stability Board, and the IMF said in a paper. And we got another quote here. A comprehensive policy and regulatory response for crypto assets is necessary to address the risk of crypto assets to macroeconomic and financial stability, said the paper, which will be presented to G20 leaders at a summit this month in New Delhi. So again, for you guys that don't know what the G20 nations are, we got the list here. And or what the G20 summit is. We call the World Economic Forum, what's Nico always say? That is basically the non-freedom conference of the world is the World Economic Forum. Well, the G20 might be something similar, and the countries that are part of it is Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy, Japan, Mexico, South Korea, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Turkey, United Kingdom, United States, African Union, and the European Union. It's kind of a lot of countries, guys. Some big names there. Anyways, we got this article from the Epoch Times that covered what was actually said, and just to verify what was said, I brought up some tweets in here so we can hear and see from their own mouths, from the horse's mouth, that they are saying exactly this. Anyways, I want you to keep in mind that they have changed the framing. They have changed the wording in regards to what their digital ID system is or their CBDC systems. And they're calling it, I forget exactly the nomenclature, but I'll get to it in here. And you can see that this is the new way that they're dressing up their system of control. And they're doing it in such a way that, of course, it's for your benefit, citizen. Trust us. We know better. This is for inclusivity. This is for, bettering humanity. And obviously, it's all BS. So let's get into this article by Epoch Times. And it goes, G20 announced its plan to impose digital currencies and IDs worldwide. And again, I am reading a little more than usual because there is some sauce in here. So the group of 20 leaders have agreed to a plan to eventually impose digital currencies and digital IDs on their respective populations, despite fears that governments will use them to monitor their people's spending and crush dissent. We know this is going to happen. We've seen this happen on the private sector. It will also happen on the public sector. Anyways, the G20, which is currently under India's presidency, adopted a final declaration on the subject over the weekend in New Delhi. The meeting, which included the world's leading economies, announced last week that they had agreed to build the necessary infrastructure to implement digital currencies and IDs. The group said that discussions were already underway to create international regulations for cryptocurrencies, but claimed that there was no talk of banning cryptocurrencies at the summit. of course, they know they can't ban Bitcoin. Many critics are concerned that governments and central banks will eventually regulate cryptocurrencies and then immediately replace them with CBDCs, which lack similar privacy and security. Indian Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, forgive me, said that discussions were underway to build a global framework to regulate crypto assets since they believe cryptocurrencies cannot be regulated efficiently without total international cooperation. Again, cryptocurrencies, aka Bitcoin, cannot be regulated efficiently without total international cooperation, something we've been saying here on the show for a long time. India's G20 presidency has put on the table key issues related to regulating or understanding that there should be a framework for handling issues related to crypto assets. The top items discussed, and this is where the new framing comes in, at the New Delhi summit included building digital public infrastructure, digital economy, crypto assets, and of course, CBDCs. Geeta Gopinath, again, forgive me, the IMF's first deputy managing director, said in a video posted on X or Twitter that the G20 helped shape a global perspective on how policymakers should deal with crypto assets. And I verified it. It is on her Twitter. She said exactly that. I'm not going to play the video because we have some more sauce in here. She also assured Business Today that there was no talks of banning cryptocurrencies. Of course, they can't, indicating a global consensus against such measures. However, some of the suggestions call for additional policing of cryptocurrencies, which are decentralized and do not operate under central banks' control. Interesting choice of words there. Again, they try to co-opt the framing of Bitcoin because they know that they can't compete with it. So they'll just steal the words so that it sounds good. You know, a bunch of buzzwords. We've seen this happen constantly. Critics say that these proposals could allow government authorities to impose a social credit score system and decide how their citizens can spend their money. Yes, this is what is going to happen. It's not just critics. I think anyone with eyes to see knows that this is happening. Anyways, at the summit, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen called for an international regulatory body for artificial intelligence, digital ID systems similar to the Rona vaccine passport, and advocated for global cooperation to address the challenges presented by AI. She called for the UN to have a role in AI regulation and called for the European Union's Rona digital certificate, a perfect model for digital public infrastructure, which would include digital IDs. And I did some more research and I found what she said, and this is over here on European Commission statement by President von der Leyen at session 3 of the G21 Future. And the first part's about AI risk, and of course that we need to regulate AI again. Same thing politicians and bureaucrats do all the time when they come across something they don't understand. Their first knee-jerk reaction is that we must regulate this. Anyways, on digital public infrastructures, again, anytime you hear this word digital public infrastructures, just remember it means digital ID systems. They can be a real booster to emerging economies. India has achieved remarkable success in rolling out its digital public infrastructures. We heard the Prime Minister, and we are very much in supportive of his initiatives. The possibilities are huge and the investments are small. And I think here might be a Freudian slip, but maybe this is me just reading into this. The trick is to build public digital infrastructure that is interoperable, open to all, and trusted. Absolutely amazing. Let me give you one example that is reality today. Many of you are familiar with the Rona digital certificate. The EU developed it for itself. The model was so functional and so trusted that 51 countries on 4 continents adopted it for free. Today, the EU uses it for a global standard to facilitate mobility in times of health threats. You heard it here first, guys, from her own mouth that this is what they want to do. And then furthermore, I went on Twitter and I found some more tweets from her. And as you can tell, they are framing this in a way that it just sounds so innocuous and just, you know, it's for your benefit. We're going to make the future better. Like the future is going to be good. Just trust us, give us the technology and the infrastructure, and we're going to do good with this. Anyways, there's a tweet here from Ursula and it goes, the future is digital. I passed 2 messages to the G20. First, we should establish a framework for safe, responsible AI with a similar body as the IPCC for climate. And 2, digital public infrastructure are an accelerator of growth, and they must be trusted, interoperable, and open to all. Okay, whatever. Anyways, as we know, the public support of this is lacking. No one wants a CBDC system, but it doesn't mean that they're not going to try anyways. And we can see from other people at the G20 summit, in particular, IMF managing director Kristalina Georgieva, and we brought her on the show before. She said some other crazy stuff that is absolutely terrifying. And I got some new tweets from her. Praised her Indian counterparts on Twitter for leading the way in setting up a roadmap for crypto regulations. And I have it here. Thank you, dear N. Sitharaman, for our close collaboration and for our strong leadership, or your strong leadership in promoting macroeconomic and financial stability, addressing debt vulnerability, and setting up a roadmap for crypto regulations during the G20 India 2023. She said the IMF was also contributing to proposals for a comprehensive policy framework, and this is what I have over here. Yeah, I think so. Yes, from bringing Africa to the table, scaling ambition on climate action, and mobilizing support around digital public infrastructure. Check my takeaways from the G20 summit. In a separate press, Ms. Georgieva said more work lies ahead, including in the realm of digital money and crypto asset. To this end, the G20 has tasked relevant institutions to improve regulation and supervision of crypto assets. The IMF is contributing to proposals for a comprehensive policy framework and advance the debate on how CBDCs could impact the global economy and financial systems. And it mentions that they want to roll out a CBDC, that Russia and Japan will likely roll out a CBDC. And even when they tried to roll out their CBDC in Nigeria, how people just don't want this. And remember this praising India's stack. Well, what is India's stack and what exactly is this digital public infrastructure? Well, the World Bank here in this article praised India's use of digital public infrastructure to enhance financial inclusion and delivery of public goods and services in a report written for the G20 summit. The nation's India Stack DPI system, again, digital public infrastructure system, which compromises the Aadhaar digital ID and the interoperable UPI digital payments platform, has been cited as an example in the report. The G20 believes that DPIs can serve people not just in the financial sector, but also in the domains of health, education, and social welfare. Honestly, it kind of reminds you of like the 2017 ICO craze. Like, let's put everything on the blockchain. Anyways, that's a side tangent. The India Stack exemplifies this approach, combining digital ID, interoperable payments, a digital credentials ledger, and account aggregation. In just 6 years, it has achieved a remarkable 80% financial inclusion rate, a feat that would have taken nearly 5 decades without a DPI approach. If designed properly, CBDCs could hold great promise to support a digital financial system that works for everyone, but that is an important if, Queen Maxima said, adding, if designed and implemented with inclusion in mind, CBDCs could offer many options to expand access to the unbanked and to serve vulnerable and the poor. It all sounds so nice. It all sounds so good, and that they're here to protect you, that, hey, this is just to, facilitate interoperable payments between countries, ensure that citizens are acting well. But as a Bitcoiner, we know that there is only one permissionless money, and it is, of course, Bitcoin, and you choose to opt into it, and you don't need these people that are, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, not necessarily representation of Simply Bitcoin. They're incompetent. The bureaucrats and the governments out there cannot compete on the free market. But it is very interesting if you take a few things into account. One, they know that they can't compete on Bitcoin unless there's a global coordination, unless there's global regulation in regards to Bitcoin and forcing people into the CBDC system or central bank control mechanisms. And that they are combining the digital IDs and their CBDC system. Like, we've been saying this for a while on the show that this was coming, and people have been saying like, oh, you guys are reading into these things, like they've never actually said it. Well, they finally said it at the G20 summit, and now they're just kind of cloaking it in some new phrasing, digital public infrastructure. And this is something they constantly do. They'll test an idea, see how the market reacts to it, then reframe it, rebrand it into something else so that people don't catch on, and see how that works. Well, know that they're coming. I know there's a lot of talk that CBDCs and digital ID systems aren't coming and they aren't going to be able to roll it out. Well, it seems like they are putting it into overdrive to roll something of this nature out. And I think it's a little too late, a little too little too late, but it's not like they're not going to try. And they're going to continue to gaslight the normie out there, the average person out there that isn't as well informed as you guys are. And it's kind of back to what Chris was saying in the beginning. This is the importance of why you are here, why you should take this moment so seriously, because you do have the asymmetric knowledge to legitimately change the course of humanity by just talking about Bitcoin, by taking Bitcoin into self-custody, by getting more people downloading wallets. This is how you can protect yourself from this madness. You did not vote for this system. These people are mainly unelected officials, the IMF, G20 summit. Like, they don't care what you believe. They don't come to you. They don't ask for your opinion on this. They kind of cloak this as like, oh, we're here for you. Give us your advice on this. I mean, remember Chrissy Lagarde's view on the dollar? It's like, hey, vote on what you want on the money, not about them printing more money. It's all a sham, guys. And you can literally protect yourself by saving in Bitcoin, taking Bitcoin into self-custody. And it really is a tailwind for everything to come. On the one hand, there is a huge amount of capital sitting on the sideline. And on the other hand, they know that they have to try to compete, at least on some level, and try to make sure that the average person out there doesn't get into Bitcoin, which just goes to show that we're winning so hard. Anyways, I've ranted way too long. Chris, what's your thoughts on this? And then we'll get Dell, which I think might get more tinfoil hatty than I am.
Yeah, definitely.
No. What are you talking about?
It's been a good rant. Opti, I know you asked us during that rant if we remember Christine Lagarde. My thing is, do you remember her being your ex-girlfriend? That's
always in forever.
No, I mean, obviously, I think when you were saying the line that they want it to be trusted, open, and interoperable, that's like literally like they're setting you up to rug you right there. I think in one of the articles, it did mention that less than 0.5% of Nigeria's population. Nigeria has a large population for a country that's small, at least relative to the way it looks on maps. I think they have over 200 million in population in Nigeria alone, and less than 0.5% opted into using the CBDC. Opted in. Many of them were trying to force them to use it. And ultimately, Nigeria had to walk back what they were pushing with the central bank digital currency they rolled out because, one, a lot of people were using like Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies and are basically just routing around that system. And basically, they realized that they were going to be losing tax dollars. So then, like, oh, like we didn't ban Bitcoin anymore. You can still use it, like as long as you report it and like give us tax dollars. Like they were really worried, and they basically had to back away and walk away from the CBDCs. To your point, like I said, I think they're trying to set you up with a rug pull. I don't think CBDCs are going to work. I think they may launch them in the West and a lot of the G20 nations that you brought up in that article, but I don't think they're going to work. It's going to be very similar to Nigeria. I do think a lot of other cryptocurrencies, after that fails of launching a CBDC that does not work well, I do think they will use private entities or other cryptocurrencies to rug them, whether it is USDC, whether that is just other cryptocurrencies that shall not be named, that they're going to try and basically like co-opt that company by basically going to the leadership. Bitcoin doesn't have leaders. It's decentralized, where a lot of these other cryptocurrencies have a board, a company, a few people controlling it. And they're basically going to go to them, governments, and be like, hey, you're either going to go to jail or you're going to give up all the KYC information on on the people there. And if they have the ability to, they'll update the code that they can rug them or pull them and basically use it as a central bank digital currency, just in the name of crypto or cryptocurrencies outside of Bitcoin. With that being said, I do think Christine Lagarde, Opti's ex, had to bring up that they need to clamp down on the exit hatches. Otherwise, those will be used to usurp the financial system and basically destroy the financial system they've built and tried to prop up with money printing and such. So I do think that things are going to get harsher for Bitcoin users and plebs alike that are holding the cryptocurrency. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents on it all.
Oof. It is going to get a little darker before it gets brighter, guys. As we say all the time, the powers that be aren't going to go easily into that good night. And this is them trying to compete. And I agree with you, Chris. I really do think they're going to try to roll this out. And I'm definitely hopeful that just people will, I don't know, subconsciously know that this is a rug pull waiting to happen. It's going to literally magnify the problems of the fiat system tenfold, maybe even like 100-fold, and make things absolutely so much worse. And it really is the meme we say all the time. It is Bitcoin or slavery. And now there's more and more receipts to prove that this is the case. And of course, they're going to kind of frame this in like flowery words to make you fall into this trap. But you guys know better, and you guys will do better and explain this to everyone out there. I know we've already been called crazy, so we might as well just double down on it. Anyways, Dell, what's your thoughts?
I think the whole thing that who was it, Chrissy, just saying you can vote. Oops, sorry about that. Vote on the style of the money. It reminds me of the state of video games these days. I don't think you'll get this, Opti, because apparently you're not a gamer. Chris might, other people in chat might. Somebody's gonna get this and they'll appreciate it. The state of money that people want is the recent release of Baldur's Gate 3. It is what it is when it came out of the door. It was just a set to go. That's Bitcoin. Baldur's Gate 3 is Bitcoin. It's done. It's finished. Yeah, there's some little things here and there that needed some tweaks, but every other currency is the state of garbage games where you've got this loot crate and you got to pay a bunch of money to get this thing and the new skins. And here comes the company, the development team saying, hey, you can vote on the new skin when they just raise the price on everything. It's like, wait, hang on. No. We don't care about what skins, what color of the recolor of the fucking weapon. We want the price to go back to where it was. We don't want you messing with the whole system. Like I said, some people won't get that, others will. But the idea that people can come in here and kind of flim flam and wave some hands, pull a rabbit out of a hat and be like, oh, isn't it so great? The color of the money is purple now and it's got a flowery stripe on it. It's like, well, that doesn't buy me more food, doesn't make rent cheaper. Like, I don't care what it looks like. I just want it to work. And they're breaking the money with everything that they do, no matter how it looks.
Yeah, well, Del, you are correct. I did not get that reference at all. But, I'm all for trying to make references that other people would get. And there's more of us out there. And, I don't have all the interest in the world that you do. And that's kind of the way. Anyways, before we move on, shouts out to our boy Brian DeMint for writing the Bitcoin evangelism book. And you guys already know how we feel about this because you guys continue to struggle about answering your No Corners friends in regards to Bitcoin. You guys still have hard times explaining to Aunt Edna why Bitcoin isn't the currency of the Antichrist. And you guys are still getting trolled by that annoying guy at work because the Bitcoin price is down. We'll get Bitcoin evangelism on Amazon. You can scan the QR code to grab a copy today. Or if you're on Orange Pill app and you want to pay in sats, get in touch with Brian DeMint and he will send you one personally. Anyways, let's get into the culture because we got our boy Chris Alemo here today.
The Daily Culture.
Brought to you by SwanBitcoin.com. Swan is the best way to build your Bitcoin stack with automated Bitcoin savings plans and instant purchases, serving clients of any size from $10 to $10 million. We love Swan because they incentivize self-custody and dollar cost averaging. What are you waiting for? Visit SwanBitcoin.com today.
Let's go, boys and girls. Well, Chris, you haven't been on the show for a minute. What have you been working on? What's on your docket, bro? What do you want to talk about today?
Yeah, I've been busy as hell working on Bitcoin Amsterdam, 29 days away. We're preemptively working on Bitcoin 2024 as well. Really excited for it to be on home turf. That's where the headquarters of Bitcoin Magazine is. We've got the art gallery there. We've got our offices there. I'm sure that'll be like a side event or things in the evenings to show people around where it all started at Bitcoin Magazine. And basically the art gallery, I highly recommend everyone check out. Amsterdam, we're really excited for. We're getting Edward Snowden, Stella Assange, Adam Back, Abubakar, some of the speakers there. So really excited to have them there. Edward Snowden, especially really excited to have him back in the fold and talking about Bitcoin and everything. Many other great speakers as well. Looking forward to bringing the news desk out to Amsterdam as well, doing that again over there. And yeah, that's basically what's been keeping us busy right now. We're really looking forward to a great event in 29 days. We're really looking forward to Nashville. We were in Miami for 3 years, and we really thank them for taking us in when no other city or state was really taking people in because of the worry of the Rona. So really excited to move it to Nashville and really excited to bring an awesome event to that city.
Love it. Before we move on to Nashville, though, Chris, Bitcoin Amsterdam. This is the second year in Amsterdam, right? If
That's
I'm not
correct.
mistaken.
Yep.
Okay. Is it going to be bigger than last year, or it's still bear market thing? So it's about the same size.
About the same size. It's bear market vibes. Unfortunately, the venue does have a max cap of I think 3,500 or 4K. We'd love to fill it up like that, but it's probably going to be about the same size as last year. Yeah, there are talks. I know DB has been tweeting, so I'm not revealing anything. He's been doing his world tour around and, looking to bring a conference to another location potentially next year. Not ruling out going back to Amsterdam, but would be cool to get a conference in a different country or a different spot in the world.
Interesting. Okay. I did hear some rumblings, or maybe it's rumors, that the European Bitcoin conference is going to, move around, and even the Nashville one, the one in the States, move around so we can be global on these conferences.
Yeah, and that's really a thing. I'm not gonna reveal anything. You can go to David Bailey's Twitter to see what he's saying, but he was tweeting that he's over in Asia, so that just gives people a hint. But yeah, no, I think that we had it in one location for 3 years, and Miami was really good to us. But our thing is, if we want global adoption, we want to spread awareness about Bitcoin, moving it, we think, is the best way to do that.
Love it. Okay, what are you most excited about to do at Amsterdam? It's what you said, 29 days away.
29 days away. I'm going to be heading up the news desk like I did at Bitcoin 2023. Opti, I know you and Nico were on the desk as well.
Wait, hold on. Are you going to be in the suit again? Because I am voting for Chris Alamo for president.
Oh, I mean, do you want me to be in the hoodie or do you want me in the suit? I think I'm suiting up again, but yeah, no, I think I'm going to the suit.
The suit.
The suit it is. Yeah, no, really excited to be helping with the news desk again this year in Amsterdam. And like I said, really looking forward to B24. I'm looking forward to hearing Edward Snowden and Stella Assange. I know Assange was kind of being extradited from the UK to the US. I don't know where that stands right now. And then always look forward to listening to Edward Snowden as well. We'll see with the 2024 elections if some of the candidates have already said that they would pardon Assange and that they would pardon Edward Snowden. So I think this is going to be a tumultuous election year. I know Bitcoin has been on the docket for many of the candidates. So we're going to see how it's treated if one of them end up winning. Like I said, don't keep politicians at their word, keep them at their actions. So I hope they follow through with everything. And, not saying put all your eggs in one basket and don't be disappointed. This is an individual freedom movement. So the best thing you can do is buy sats, stack sats, and then put them into self-custody is your best way to opt out of the fiat political and financial system. So that's just my 2 cents.
100%. Chris, it's Amsterdam's coming up. Is there any sneak peeks on what maybe Julian Assange is talking, or Snowden's talking about, what Stella Assange is talking about? Do you guys know what's on the docket for these speeches?
Yeah, I don't know. I know we're going to be dropping the agenda on Friday. So that's still, it's fine. It's in like the final stretches right here. So on Friday this week, they'll be dropping the agenda. I know Snowden will probably be talking about Bitcoin and digital privacy. Stella will be talking obviously about Julian and his extradition case and what are the next steps to try and free him. Because obviously he's been in jail for over 10 years now, which is really crazy, as well as free Ross Ulbricht. Like I said, when we're in Nashville, come by the art exhibit. There is a Ross exhibit in the art gallery, which, goes out to him, his mom, his family. And, I really hope, the one thing that I hope for any politician, regardless if they make Bitcoin legal tender or whatever in the US, I really hope that they pardon Assange, Snowden, and Ross Ulbricht. That's really like the only thing I'm looking for a candidate. So the bare minimum that they do, just pardon those 3 people, in my opinion, would be the best thing to do. I don't want to get into the weeds of all the other politics of it all.
Yeah, 100%. And look, you're gonna be there. This is a strong speaker list you got going on here. Anyways, let's talk about Nashville for a little bit. So it is 6 months away now, maybe 9 months away, guys. And we are telling you constantly to get your tickets because we want to hang out with you guys. But do you know exactly what's going on in Nashville, Chris? Can we get some more sneak peeks, some leaks? What's the plan over there?
Yeah, so it's going to be in Nashville. I know Dell was asking me before we started. It's going to be in the Radio City Hall Convention Center, I believe is the name of it. We have the address, the Music City Center, on John Lewis Way. I can't reveal too much more about it. It's going to be an awesome conference. It's a gigantic venue. We hope it to be even bigger than Bitcoin 2023. Maybe it'll be bigger than even Bitcoin 2022. It's post-halvening, at least we suspect, if the halvening's in April. So hopefully we'll be in the midst of the bull run and it'll be really, really awesome. Obviously, it's going to be a few months before the elections for 2024. So I think that'll be very spicy, or the political scene will be a topic of debate for sure. We're always bringing back our open source stage. We always love our open source contributors, and we'll be rolling out in the next couple months the open source contributor thing, where if you contribute to projects on the Bitcoin space, whether it's Bitcoin development such as Bitcoin Core, Sparrow, Spectre, any of these projects, you can apply to get a free ticket to the conference. Really, we would not be we would not be able to have this event if it wasn't for Satoshi, all the cypherpunks and developers that do this. So it's a way of giving back to them to get into the conference for free if they're not already speaking, which we really appreciate. Del and Opti, I'll speak for myself. I cannot code worth a crap. So, I really have to thank them for all the work that they do. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents of it all.
My coding goes as far as I can basically do hello world and do some command lines. I'm not a coder at all.
Yeah, like my Bitcoin node is as far as I get in the coding world, and that's just checking the signatures, downloading it, making sure it's running all right.
Exactly, that's the extent of my coding as well. But there's also going to be a lot of side projects in Nashville, right? Like you guys are based there. You guys going to have parties there? Like, what's going on? Are we really taking over Nashville?
Oh, Opti, we're gonna go on Broadway, and we might not make it out at the end of the night. So if you're speaking, just make sure that you get there. But it'll be a great time. There's a lot of good bars, awesome party scene there as well. Obviously, Nashville is kind of a hotbed, a freedom city as we call it. There'll definitely be side events. I know last year there was Satoshi Nakamoto, which was like a bunch of Bitcoiners getting drunk at a bar and singing karaoke, which was a blast. I think Sophie was there. She was doing a great job singing. Obviously, we'll be giving tours of the art gallery. You can see the Ross exhibit. Bitcoin Park is there. So Matt Odell, Rod, and Harry Sudok, as well as Josh, are running it over there. I highly recommend everyone go check out Bitcoin Park. It's very, very cool. And yeah, there's many other side events to come. So looking forward to them as they roll out.
Yeah, I agree. And Elaine asked, well, she didn't really ask, but she just basically said, can people still volunteer for the conference and help out?
Yep, definitely. So normally we do the volunteer rollouts probably like 4 to 5 months before the conference, but we will be rolling out the volunteers again. Shout outs to all the volunteers that help us. Obviously, as long as you're working a shift, we give you a ticket to the event as well when you're not working. So, it's kind of a great deal that you help volunteer for a few hours, and then we give you a ticket to enjoy the event in the off time when you're not working. So huge shout out to the B23 and B22 volunteers, as well as Amsterdam. It's always a great help.
Yep. And Chris, one more question for you, but it's on the screen. When is the Nashville event?
Yeah, so July 25th through the 27th in Nashville. We're really looking forward to it. It's going to be a 3-day event. There'll be Industry Day as well as 2 GA days. So GA Day 1 and GA Day 2. Looking forward to another great event in a new city.
Let's go. Well, I'm excited to get to Nashville. And I guess, wait, Del, you have any questions on the conference? Are you excited to go to the conference? What's your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, I'm definitely excited. The thing that I'm really looking forward to seeing happening, or as a possibility, I don't know that this will happen, but there is a possibility, a non-zero chance, that the halving happens before the conference. That seems like a really good chance. It's looking like it's towards the end of April. So unless something crazy happens, and I don't know what would happen there, but if that happens, and then a whole lot more people start to go, wait a second, what's going on with this Bitcoin thing? And then you get a politician. Like, imagine if RFK Jr. got up on stage there at Bitcoin. I'm not saying that he is. I'm just saying, imagine the situation where people are going, oh, what's this Bitcoin thing? They start asking questions about money. Things can happen so fast. I've learned that in the past few years, that the entire world can be a radically different place in the course of months. And so you could have people questioning money, seeing the Bitcoin price skyrocketing, seeing their bills going up, and then going, wait a second, this Bitcoin thing seems like an answer. RFK gets on stage at Bitcoin Nashville and talks about how he wants to really embrace it, even more so than he's already said. That whole connection of things could be a catalyst of the likes that we can't even really wrap our heads around.
Yeah, completely agree. Like I said, the elections are in November of 2024. So I think things are going to be going nuts. It was awesome that we were able to have Tulsi Gabbard, Vivek, and RFK on stage for B23. It would be very, very interesting. I know. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Like, it'll be very interesting with the politicians, with where their stance is. Hopefully they'll have strength in their resolve and education in Bitcoin. And hopefully we'll hear that at Bitcoin 2024 as well.
Let's go. I mean, I know, Chris, you and I have had these conversations that moving forward, Bitcoin will be the political hot topic. Like, it's going to be one of the defining conversations, especially when we're talking about what we saw on the culture, or I mean, on the news and in the numbers. You know, we have spot Bitcoin ETFs. On the one hand, there's institutional interest into Bitcoin. There's capital waiting on the sidelines. And then on the other hand, we have, you know, the G20 nation talking about a CBDC system, and every country in the world is talking about rolling out a CBDC system. And it's going to be, especially in America, a very defining hot button topic where it's either Bitcoin or it is slavery. And this is why we have to double down on spreading all the Bitcoin signal, doing your part with the memes, with the content, with the articles, and then just having conversations with your friends and family. And I think Dale and I have had this conversation with, like, do it kind of tactfully, guys. You know, don't be unbearable. You know, be be a little bit compassionate when you're talking about Bitcoin. Anyways, Chris, anything else you're working on, or are you just doubling down on the conferences and, you know, chickens with your head cut off, making sure that gets run right?
Yeah, so next week there'll be a video dropping from Dom Bay. So he's Baywatch1, I believe, on Twitter. What a great name. So there's an interview that I did with him that has more information about it. So you'll have to look for it Tuesday or Wednesday next week on Bitcoin Magazine YouTube. But it's a cool interview that we did that has a little bit more about a side project I'm working on that I'm really excited for. And yeah, a couple other things in the works, but mainly focused on the conferences 29 days out.
Love it. Well, hold on. I got a soundboard for you before.
I am building.
Chris is building.
That's a great one.
All right, guys, let's get into the meme review, because this is your favorite portion of the show.
The Daily Meme Review.
Brought to you by Kaboomracks. I get this question all the time. Nico, where should I buy Bitcoin miners? The answer is Kaboomracks. It's the best place to buy Bitcoin miners. That's where you're going to find the best deals and the best prices. Start your mining utopia today. To check out their racks, you got to go to t.me/Kaboomracks. Join their Telegram group and start your mining journey today. Kaboomracks.
Kaboomracks. Look, wait, hold on. BTC is truth. Wait, BTC is truth is right on the button. Yeah, hold on. Go back to the other one. BTC is truth. The aliens are here to steal your sats. Beware. Okay, all right. Anyways, this is the meme review, and you'll get that in a minute. You'll get why that's on point. And then, yes, let's go to David as well, Del. Bitcoin is going to be wife-changing. Lol.
Even life-changing, not wife-changing, but wife-changing is so good.
Oh, man. Lol.
Yeah,
all right, guys.
If your wife isn't a Bitcoiner, you got to get a new wife.
No, I've heard it's when Bitcoin goes into the next bull run, your wife's going to get a girlfriend too.
Hey, let's go. Okay. All right, guys, this is a meme review where you tag me on Twitter at simplybitcointv, though our notifications have been blowing up lately, so maybe tag my personal Optimus Fields, and I will bring either your meme or your favorite memes on the show, and we will review them live, and then also drop them in our Telegram group, t.me/simplybitcoin. We got a lively group of people in there, good discussion in there. If you're a lonely Bitcoiner in your real life, hang out with us in our Telegram group. There's a bunch of cool Bitcoiners. Anyways, tweets are the bullets, memes are the artillery, and we are in the fight of our lives for the war on freedom. Anyways, this first meme, as you guys probably know, you guys probably saw it on Twitter. Literally the first thing I woke up to this morning was a tweet by Encrypt, or Fractal Encrypt, and it was something on the lines of like, Mexico announces that it shows 2 mummified aliens, and Coinbase announced that Lightning integration is happening. And that's the first thing I woke up to literally this morning. But that's not the meme. The meme is by TC, aka @meditation_man. And here's like a picture of the supposed mummified alien looking like ET. And he just goes, unbothered by price action, just hodling. This is all of us here. We're just mummified aliens at this point. Just like, don't care. Bitcoin, do something. Go up. Jeez, just unbothered. Moisturized in my own lane stack.
That guy is not moisturized. I'm gonna say that. He is not moisturized.
Well, I'm moisturized in my own lane.
I know the U.S. announced that, aliens are real and everything, but this literally looks like paper mache ET. Like, I'm sorry. That's just like my opinion of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I instantly was like, what is this psyop for? Like, what are they psyoping us for on this? That was irregardless of whether aliens are real or not. I just saw this and I'm like, what is going on? It literally looks like ET. Maybe ET was telling us. Maybe we need to watch ET now as a documentary. Anyways, next meme is by our boy Ropium, and he goes lasereyes.jpg, and we got this. It looks like a carved skull out of corn. And it goes, I honestly hope the entire crypto market crashes. Lol, sorry, heart emojis, feeling good. This is all of us just constantly waiting for the inevitable bad things to happen. We're just, stacking corn. It ain't much, but it's honest work. Anyways, this next meme, I kind of touched on this in the beginning, and Therapist needs to update this one, but apparently Apple unveiled iPhone 15 Pro Max, and it literally didn't change at all except for it's titanium now. But here's a good chart, and this ends in 2017, so it does need to get updated 5 years, and it just goes to show maybe it shouldn't get updated since we've been going sideways for what feels like 5 years. But anyways, it's a picture of all the recent iPhone releases, and it goes, how many Bitcoins did each iPhone cost at the time of release? And it goes apples per Bitcoin. And we got iPhone 4. It costs 9,300 BTC. We have iPhone 4 4S, 162 BTC, iPhone 5, 52 BTC, iPhone 5S, 5 BTC, iPhone 6, 1.62 BTC, iPhone 6S, 2.76 BTC, iPhone 7, 1.07 Bitcoin, and iPhone 8, 0.174 Bitcoin. It's almost like your life gets cheaper on a Bitcoin standard, and the Apple phones don't change at all. Why would you want an Apple phone? Why would you want one of these? I think I'm on 12, and I just saw that they got recalled in like France or something for too much IMF. I'm literally burning my brains over here. I need a new phone. Okay, anyways, on the same vein, we got Lena Sisha, and she goes, cool. We got 2011 here, and it's Apple, and they go, new phone, a little bit better than your old phone. And someone buys the iPhone 4S, and then the smart people are buying Bitcoin. This is what you should be doing. Don't go run out right now and get yourself a new iPhone. You should be using that money to stack Bitcoin. And here we go, 2023. Look, they changed the charging port. iPhone 15 Pro, all new design. And that person's in a Citadel because he stacked sats in 2011 and he owns his own castle. This is the way, guys. Okay, this next meme is by HODL X Hold, and it goes, hashtag Bitcoin is the way. And I really just like this because it's kind of like psychedelic. It's kind of dope. We have this skeleton with a bright aura and laser eyes, and he's walking into this magical fairyland, magical future that is Bitcoin. And we have like the Cupid angels in the sky with laser eyes and Bitcoin logos. Bitcoin is the way, guys. You need to get on the Bitcoin standard. Your life gets cheaper. And you guys know, I try to avoid nepotism on the meme review because I can hear you guys yelling. It's like, oh, you're picking your own memes, whatever. But I really like this one. And this is also, actually, I guess it's a Bitcoin therapist heavy meme review today. And we got this guy, he's drinking some champagne. Maybe it's some lemonade. We'll go lemonade because it's a PG-13 show. And we got the Bitcoin logo here. And this is just something that I like to get across to as many people as possible, because so few understand this. And it goes, you're not buying Bitcoin, you're selling fiat, guys. Capitulate your fiat instantly. Sorry. Dell said a funny comment in our private chat. Yes, Dell, can confirm. All right, drop your meme review chat in this meme review score in the chat as we cover ours live. All right, guys, I think this meme review score for myself is going to break the Bitcoin Twitter internet. All right, are you ready for this? I'm about to get trolled.
Imagine Chrissy steps into frame right now.
That would break the internet.
She leans in and gives him a kiss on the cheek.
that honestly, that would be a better score. But I'm doing a half of a sourdough bread roll. It's fucking delicious, guys. Bread is still so good. Sourdough is so good. I'm not apologizing for it. All right, Chris, what is your score?
So I got a Guy Fawkes tattoo,
Ooh.
you know, so I thought that was a pretty good one.
Put it on your face right now.
Put it on my face right now.
All right, Dell, are you doing the private chat score or are you going to do another one?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll do. I'm not going to do that score.
He's saving that for the Christine Lagarde
I will
kiss.
say, big shout out to all the Bitcoin artists out there. We've got some great people that are
artists.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. So my phone, this is a phone. It's a OnePlus 7 something another, and I got it. This is my meme review score. I got it off of Craigslist for $100. So if you're not buying your phones off of Craigslist or some other secondhand place, like I truly don't know what an iPhone 14 or whatever they're at now does that my phone can't. I honestly, tell me, what does it do? Can I fly with it? If I can fly, then maybe, oh, okay, that's a kind of neat. Can I literally summon cars to just like appear magically in front of me? Because if I can do that, that'd be kind of cool. But if I can't do anything more than what my phone does, which is text people, check emails, go online, then what the fuck am I spending 10 times
you're
more?
saying it doesn't have Uber app on it?
I'm not talking about Uber app. I mean like magically just materializing a car out of nothing. If it can't,
that's called Uber.
No,
Dell just got Dell just got the app from the seller on eBay called Not the NSA. That's the only thing his phone does.
Okay. All right, guys. All right. Before we move on, though, shouts out to the merch. We got some new merch. Actually, Chris is wearing it. There's a new Simply Bitcoin merch tee. We have yet to make the Simply Bitcoin merch hat that Dell is wearing over there. I will get those printed for you guys soon, but we do have some hoodies, and we were getting yelled at, oh, you make hoodies in the summertime. Well, I don't know about you, but it's starting to cool down where I am, and this hoodie is so comfy and bright. Scan the QR code, get yourself a hoodie. We appreciate all the support, boys and girls. It means a lot to us. Anyways, we got some meme review scores in here, so let me get into this one. First one is by Dennis Lassen, I believe. Your boy's blind. And it says, meme, I give the sweet alien meme a free Bitcoin tattoo as an advertisement for Bitcoin. It can't say no. Okay, dude, going hard on the Bitcoin tattoos. We get it, bro. We get it. Okay, next one, John Pleb, meme score in Augustin Carson's lap dance for one song, but he'll stop early because fiat robs you of your time. Yo, that's meta. All right. Next one is by our boy Planet Earth, and he goes, give these memes a big thank you to PayPal for your donation and support to the Bitcoin miners. Totally agree. And remember, they said F2 Pool was saying they're going to give it back. I hope they do not give that 19 Bitcoin back to PayPal.
No, if you're the miner, you're like, no, I'm sorry, bro. Like, that's your bad.
I agree, but they did a tweet that said, like, if you respond within 3 days, we'll give it back to you. They thought it was just like a person that, you know, wrecked themselves, but they better not give PayPal their money back at this point.
Yeah, I hope that was the offer on standby. If it was just like some person that was kind of clueless,
that's
like, oh, that's fair. But if it's PayPal, that I want the backup tweet to just say, actually,
never mind.
Yourself.
Okay, this next meme review score is by Elaine, and she goes, score, it's time to hurry Bitcoin, and no matter who's there, with kindness, be gentle, speak Bitcoin everywhere. Yes, this is the way. Hold on. Can I? Yeah, I can say that one. I can say this. Okay, Opti's mustache with Big Mac scent. Big Macs are delicious. Anyway, score. What do full mustaches and Bitcoin bull runs have in common? Both get you a second central banker girlfriend. Yes, this is the way. Okay, everyone's everyone's really excited about my sourdough bread. It's delicious. Okay, BTC is truth. Meme score. Aliens secretly stacking sats. Yes, 100%. Okay, let's see.
We are the aliens.
We are. Oh, this one's good. Okay. UTXO. My meme review score is the leaked private chat between Opti and Dell. Okay, let's see. I think this is all right. Couple more. Canada, meme score, an old smartphone with a broken screen that still does everything what iPhone 15 Pro does. Yes, this is the way.
Exactly.
Next one, Matthew J. Meme score, Dell's awesome hat that isn't in merch store. Guys, I know. I'm going to get them printed.
This is the Represent LTD hat. And I just happened to
it.
check randomly, and for some reason they had some more in stock. So I don't know. Tweet at Represent. Tell them to.
We're gonna print them. We're already in touch with Represent. We're gonna get some for you guys. We're on it. Just give us some time. We had to do a proof of concept with our first merch rollout before we just buy all the merch. And here we are. Anyways, son of a Satoshi, meme score, one alien mummy with the osmium hardware wallet. I don't know what that is. Anyways. This is the end of the show, guys. Really appreciate it. I'm your host, Opti. This is my co-host, Dell, over there. Dell, do you know what you have in the docket for the YouTube shorts? Or wait, no, clips?
Originals.
That's what we're calling them.
Yeah, I've got one in the docket. It might be coming out today, depending on what is going on. I think Rustin might be posting it today. If not, I think it's coming out tomorrow. And that one, I'm going over a British HODL video. He's a new face in the game, or it's new to me. I think he's been around for a little bit, but I didn't.
For a minute.
Okay, I wasn't aware of him until just recently. And I've been watching his stuff. I really like his vibe. I like his 3 rules of Bitcoin. If you don't know them, they are 1, stack sats, buy Bitcoin, 2, shut the fuck up, and 3, get fabulously wealthy. So I like those rules. But he goes over how Bitcoin's price, this is according to Bank of America, it can change by 1% with just $93 million. $93 million is a pittance, a drop in the bucket for these massive players like Fidelity and BlackRock and whatnot. So he's saying so he goes into that and talks about how Bitcoin could hit 7 point something million very easily. And so I break that down. That one's coming up pretty soon.
So TLDR, stupidly bullish video coming from Dell. Got it. Thank you, Dell.
Bull-carded. Yeah.
All right. I want to thank our guest and friend, Chris Alamo from Bitcoin Magazine. Really appreciate you, bro. Where can the people find you? And are they going to see you? Are you going to see them in Amsterdam, bro? In a suit.
Yeah, I will be suited up. Opti, Dell, Nico, I know he's not here, but thanks for having me, guys. Always appreciate coming on the show. Love you guys and love what you guys are doing. You can find me on Twitter at ChrisAlamo6. You could also use that at ChrisAlamo6 at b.tc for Nostr. So that's my NIP5 identifier. And yeah, thanks for having me so much. I will see everyone at Bitcoin Amsterdam, all suited up. I will also see you at Bitcoin Nashville or Bitcoin 2024 in July 25th through the 25th through the 27th. I will be probably suited up there as well. So see you guys all.
I might have to wear a suit too, just for shits and giggles.
I
don't own a suit, but I might just have to buy one.
All right, that works. Thanks, Opti, for having me. Appreciate being on here. Hope everyone learned a little something today.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Kick back behind the scenes before you roll out. Anyways, guys, we love you. We appreciate you. Thank you for showing up today. Thanks for hanging out with us in the chat. We will be back tomorrow with our normal show. Of course, like, subscribe, share, spread Bitcoin signal. That's all that matters. I don't even care if it's simply Bitcoin. Just make sure people are talking about Bitcoin. Make sure they know that there's an exit route to the clown world that we find ourselves in. And of course, make sure people know that the main problem right now is the broken money. Anyways, we love you. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.